Hi, it's Terrie Carr, and you are inside DHA's Box of Rock, where we get you up close and personal with your favorite rockers. This week, I sit down with former Eagle, the legendary Don Felder. So we are inside the Box of Rock with the one and only Don Felder, formerly of the Eagles' amazing solo career. He's got a great solo record out too called The Road to Forever, which, Don, for you is kind of like a chronicle of your life a little bit.
Yeah, it's kind of a musical autobiography of all the experiences I went through in my life that are all kind of common denominator human experiences: the loss of love, falling from the grace of love, which is one of the title tracks on the song. There's a song in there called Heal Me that is about how we all go through life and we get battered and scarred from life itself and all the trials and tribulations we go through, and that we always want to find a place and a way to heal ourselves. And at the end of that track, there's a very kind of African primal up-tempo groove that takes place on it, and it's a celebration of having healed yourself. So there's a lot of things that go on in this record that actually are experiences that I went through that I think everybody can relate to as well.
And a lot of that great Don Felder sort of slide guitar sound. Tell me a little bit about slide for you. You were inspired by somebody that we all have known and loved for so many years.
Well, I was actually showed how to play slide guitar by a guy named Dwayne Allman from the Allman Brothers, and he was by far the best slide guitar player, if not the best guitar player in Florida, maybe the Southeast. And so I had seen Dwayne play. We were in battles of the bands together, and they always won, as a matter of fact, the Allman Brothers. But during the summer, we would play over on the beach in Daytona, and we'd play different dance clubs in the pier and stuff. And so we went over to Dwayne's house one night after a show and sat on the floor of his mother's house, and he started playing slide guitar. So I said, "You've got to show me how to do that." And so he showed me how to tune the guitar to play slide guitar and use a Chorus Eaton bottle on my finger to play slide. And basically everything I know about slide guitar I learned from Dwayne.
The book Heaven and Hell, just so amazing. Your life story, one of the best rock autobiographies. Writing that for you had to be sort of a cathartic feeling. I would imagine you went through so much and you sort of dug into a lot of things that happened in the past for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, when I went through a separation in 2001 from the Eagles, I also in that same 12-month period went through a divorce and separation from my wife of 29 years. So a lot of the images that I had adopted had been stripped away of husband and father and family man and rock musician with the Eagles. All of that was just taken away in a 12-month period. So I went back and started doing a series of meditations to find out and understand how I'd gotten from a very impoverished condition in north central Florida on a little dirt road that my father built with my two grandfathers, this house that I grew up in, very humble upbringing, and how I had gone through this road to wind up being in the rock band, the Eagles, and how I had changed, what had happened to me. My mother used to be extremely religious, and she would drag me into church from the time I was 2 years old by the ear into Sunday school every Sunday morning. And yet when I got in the Eagles, I had been drugged into promiscuity and drugs and alcohol and a whole different lifestyle, and all the morals and everything I had been raised with and brought up with had changed dramatically. So I really wanted to understand what had happened to me and how I'd gotten there and get a good firm footing as far as who I was now after the Eagles in order to go forward with a good understanding of where I was. So in writing the book, it was a very cathartic experience for me.
I can imagine. So playing music for you now, as satisfying as it was then?
You know, I started at the age of 10 playing guitar and seeing Elvis Presley on the Ed Sullivan Show and all those girls screaming at him, and I just decided right then and there that's what I want to do. So I fell in love with playing music, and I would take time away from doing homework and studying English and that sort of stuff to play guitar very quietly in my room so my parents wouldn't hear me when I was supposed to be doing homework. But I just realized that I loved playing music, and I grew up with absolutely nothing to begin with. So when I chose to take music on as a career, I had nothing to lose. I had nothing to begin with, so I had nothing to lose if it didn't work out. You can only be so poor, and that's it. So I decided to go off on that road and play music for a career, and I think the 10,000 hour philosophy turns out to be true, that if you do something for 10,000 hours and with a passion and love of doing it, you'll actually prevail and be successful at whatever you choose to do. So even today, I love being on stage, playing music, whether it's in front of 100,000 people or or a couple of hundred people, or just playing music for you somewhere in a room. It's just what I love to do the most.
We're grateful that you've played us so much great music too over the years. Don Felder, a legend inside the box of rock. What can we say? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
How lucky am I to have the opportunity to sit down with the guy behind Hotel California. It was such a pleasure to have Don hanging out live in Studio D with us too. You can check out his performance on our webcast at WDHAFM.com and check out the brand new record. It is so good, The Road to Forever, from the one and only Don Felder. For DHA's Box of Rock, I am Terrie Carr. I'll see you tomorrow at 10.